So it seems the US and China have come to some sort of understanding, or at least over the past hour or so, Bitcoin, XRP, just every coin has been going pretty crazy. Not in terms of actual percentages, the numbers are pretty but in terms of prices, where they're breaking above their previous ranges. And with Bitcoin, very, very interestingly, if we take a look at the close, it is 104,090. The very unfortunate part is that it barely scratched the highest level ever for Bitcoin. It didn't actually get over it, as the highest point was 104,340. So that is very, very unfortunate. But right now we are facing a triple top on Bitcoin, with the major news in the background being this: US and China agreed to major reductions in tariffs for 90 days. The US and China will temporarily lower tariffs on each other's products while, let me quickly put it nice into screen, while the US reducing its levies on most Chinese imports from 145 to 30%, and China dropping its duties on US goods from 125 to 10%. The joint statement aims to, let's see here real quick, to cool trade tensions and gives the two countries 3 more months to resolve their differences, with a mechanism to continue discussions on economic and trade relations. The agreement is a step towards de-escalating the tariff war, but it is still unclear what an acceptable goal is for both sides or how long it'll take to get there, with China previously demanding the removal of all US tariffs imposed this year. But obviously, that'd be pretty damn freaking difficult. But our trades have been doing pretty damn amazing. I mean, when I say amazing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna show you. Let me show you some. All right, let me show you something. So before I show you guys how the 10K to $1 million challenge has been going, because I just did some compounding. Just messed up my recording, by the way. I'll talk about it in just a second. That was pretty funny. It happened like 5 minutes ago. That's why I already know. But all the bots I've been opening over the past few days are also in massive amounts of profit. Remember the virtual bot that was at what? Minus, let's quickly see. Minus, let's see, the whole night it was at minus 10% before. I'll show you real quick. Minus 10% before. Right now it's plus 12%. The BNB bot was not that big of a minus, but it was always minus whenever I looked at it. Also minus 1% or so the whole time. 𝗵𝗵𝗃 was at a big minus for half the time. Here you can see minus 10% also. Right now it's plus 21%. Altcoin was also at a minus every single time I looked at it, but minus 3% only. Now it's back up. And the XLM bot was at 50-50. I think it was mostly plus, but a small plus. Right now, it is also plus 14% or $700 on our $25,000 trade. And then above here is the XRP bot, but I'll show you that in a second. BNB, like I said, is a profit. Virtual is a profit. ADA, doing good, 43%. Ethereum, we didn't put any money in it. We only put it's only a $7,500 trade, only $1,500 as an investment, but we're up $900 though. So on our $1,500, $900 up is pretty damn good. The Bitcoin main bot is up 30%, so $14,000, and the XRP main bot, our $250,000 trade, is up $22,000. Then SUI is up 30%, so also not too amazing, not too shabby. HBAR is up 20.7%. This was also at a very, very significant loss, 30% loss before. But again, the idea of putting such little numbers in was that I was going to buy the dip if they went down like 50%, but they didn't. You know, it actually started pumping pretty quickly after I bought. I was really, really prepared to get down on my knees and never mind. Let me not say none of that. Anyway, Bitcoin, let's see here. Yeah, it's been at a prop for a long time. And the old XRP bot also. It was almost at a loss a few days ago. Maybe like last week or something, but it recovered as well. And now it is time to show the XRP 10K to $1 million challenge. And now I'm going to quickly show you guys how we're going to compound on the $10,000 to $1 million challenge. Now, I've actually done it about 10 seconds ago, but I was not recording. And that's because every single time I tried, my camera was stuck, so that's a bit awkward. But I can just show you that it just now was at about $1,000 worth of profit, which is about roughly 10.08%. And we had some grid profits as well. All I did was press more, and I can show you guys here. Then press edit price range, added 1 cent behind it. Now I'll just take it away real quick. And then press next step. It'll give you 2 options, but right now it's at a loss. So again, this is very unfortunate, but unfortunately I lost that footage over the last few seconds. Let me just show you with a different bot to see what it looks like. I will press edit price range, add 1 cent behind it. We press next step, and it'll ask you, hey, do you want to reinvest? And in this case here, because it was more than 10%, it was actually 2 compounds at once. So if we go to the calculator here, we went from $10,000 to $11,025, which is total gain, I guess, of 15.76%, which is quite interesting when you think about it. I don't know why I said 15.7. I mean 10.25%, obviously. It's pretty interesting when you think about it, that we skipped a whole entire step. But now, of course, the negative thing is that it'll be at a bigger loss, at least for a while. Why? Well, because the moment you reinvest, it's going to use that new higher price to buy in for at least the newest part of it. So it's going to increase your start price, or at least your average price, by a little bit. Because again, right now, basically XRP is at 242-ish. 242 or 243 even almost. And again, right now it's at about 0.4% profit, so doing good. But that's also at that point where you, of course, reinvest your money into. It would have been slightly better if we did 5% and then again 5%, just because the 5% would be slightly cheaper. But at these very, very low amounts, because it's just 11,000 times 5, it's just $55,000. It's not going to matter too much. Obviously, as we get closer to the $1 million number, at that point, if our actual investment is $500,000, you get that at that point we're playing with 2.5 million. So it's a lot more significant at those levels, especially once we are at $900,000 worth of an investment. At that point we're playing with 4.5 million. You get it, right? Right now it's still pretty chill, but soon enough it might not be. So again, all I'm looking for is for this number right here, grid profit, and potentially unrealized profit. But it depends actually. For the most part, I'm just letting these grid profits do their thing. I'm only looking at the unrealized profit, or just total profit really, once it's at the 5% level, or you can actually check it out by just pressing change price range, change a number just a little bit, press next step. And again, if you're in profit, it'll give you the option to reinvest. That's literally all we gotta do. That's literally every single step of it. And I'll remind everybody, this XRP bot might be at a big loss most of the time. But again, that's the whole idea, because the lower it goes from looking at this, the more it is actually going to buy in. And again, it will do that till about 185, maybe 160. If the price starts dropping rapidly, what I'm going to have to do is adjust margin and put a lot of money inside. And you might say, Dusty, that's not a $10,000 challenge. Again, what we're doing could, theoretically speaking, be that you have, if you've got $10,000, that's the maximum you've got, I would not do a $10,000 challenge because you have no more room to wiggle, right? You cannot lower your liquidation price. You cannot do anything. I would personally then only do it with like maybe $1,000, something like that. So you have a lot of wiggle room. But even then, you can probably never take that to $1 million, because that's only if the price only goes up. Why am I saying that? Well, think about it. If you're doing these things with leverage, which is what I'm trying to do to make it faster, you are playing a game of liquidations. If I was doing everything on spot, just 1x leverage, it would be possible, and we'd surely never need to adjust margin, but it'd be 5 times slower. So I could also speed it up significantly by doing, for example, 100x leverage or something like that. But the reason I am not doing that is because essentially, at that point, we'd get liquidated so quickly that I'd have to add a lot of margin straight away. And at that point, then, how much is the actual investment? How much is, what really is the challenge here? In this case here, there's a possibility we will never need to adjust our margin, but there's also a possibility just to not stop me. Because again, one of my friends has done both challenges. One is you never add anything, you just put 10K in it and see where it gets you. And the other, which is his $4,000 to $1.something million challenge, is where he did add margin eventually. Why am I doing the second option? It's because option number one means if the price goes against us a little bit, we're wrecked. And I have to try again, and I have to try again. I think most people would just be interested in trying to actually get to that million, regardless of how we do it. And in my example here, I'm not going to buy the dip. I've not reserved money to buy more as an actual investment. All we're going to just keep stacking that. All I want is to lower this liquidation price, because again, we're borrowing money here in the form of leverage, because obviously we're using other people's money to do these leverage trades. And to stop us from having to pay that back, we kind of, put a little money down on the side. It's not an actual investment, it's just to lower the liquidation price. And again, we might never need it, but we have it on the side in case we do. Once more, we'll be able to take that back out as the price goes up, but it's just to prevent us from losing everything in case the price starts to fall down and down and down and down and down. Now, I also think it might be a wise idea for me to open up a Telegram channel of sorts, or maybe do it in my main Telegram, where I update you guys every single time I'm recompounding, taking profits, or doing something with the challenge. Let me know down below if that's something you'd like to see though. And I'm watching the China situation so much right now, because if something bad gets announced, this could be the end of our little season. But as it currently stands, with bullish announcements and Bitcoin trading at the highest level basically ever. I mean, again, if the price ended $300 higher, we'd have the highest Bitcoin close ever. This week, we could literally see an all-time high for Bitcoin, which could also bring in many new all-time highs for altcoins in the next coming weeks. It's a time to pay close attention to everything in the markets, to not slack off like I'm kind of doing here seed-wise. Should be having better posture so my shirts look properly ironed, but I'm slouched over like a maniac because of the chair looking cool, but I have to kind of sit awkwardly. Regardless, I'm thinking this 10K $2 million challenge. I could also do another one with Bitcoin, by the way, if you guys are excited for it. I did not check the comments yet from last night, as I just had some unfortunate news with regards to my accommodation, but it's all good. I'm just watching this all day. Actually, I was not. Like, the real talk, like real talk, there was actually a few times during the night where the price went above 5%, but, I was good and schnoozing, sleeping very, very well. Right now, though, it all of a sudden went to plus 10%, and I was able to cash it out. You don't even see that in this chart, though, I guess. But yeah. You can also see our start price is still the same, but now our break-even price on the top right is higher because, first of all, we reinvested, and that's because of where it is just buying at. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Everything else, though, is looking juicy. If you also want to join, like I said, it's your own risk, it's your own journey. This is mine, and I'll be sharing every single step along the way. If I end up losing it all, which is possible, hard, I don't know how, but possible. In my opinion, the worst case is that I'm going to be at a very, very big loss for a long time. I don't think it's actually that easy to lose everything. But again, that's why the margin thing that I explained earlier. If you want to join also, though, again, your own risk. It's just my journey. I'll be sharing it. Link here for Payonics is the platform I'm trading on. The second link is to claim yourself a nice upwards of $800 bonus. Let me just quickly see if I can find it. Here you go. You get $100 for just signing up, or $30, depending on which country you're from. But don't put US, by the way, because then you cannot use the platform. And then you get upwards of $800 for just depositing. If you deposit $5,000 or more, you get $800, which is pretty nice. And then there's also some links down below to copy my bots. You'll see, all right? But if you, for example, click this link right here to copy the XRP bot, it'll take you to this page, and all you got to do is press copy the bot, put inside how much money you want to, and that's literally about it. I will also later today actually make another video opening some more bots. Why? Because when I look at the comment section, everybody's requesting new altcoins now. There's people asking for an Ondo bot, a Dogecoin bot, and a few different ones. So we'll have to get that done. But then again, there's also some people who said, please, no more bot talk. But again, the point is, it is so profitable in a time like this. And my channel is about news, but also showing people what I'm doing in this crypto journey to make crazy amounts of money. And so I got to find a cool balance, right? Right now, I've covered some of the most important news early in the video, and then I talk about the trading strategy we've got surrounding that. Again, for the most part, it's because these trades, let me quickly show you. Like, for example, our major XRP position on Blowfin, that still has got $350,000 in it. I'm not doing too much on. I could, theoretically speaking, just buy more of the dips, but realize that, well, you know what? I've already got this position open. This will be in profit soon. I just got to take some time. Theoretically speaking, all I got to do is just add more to my bots at this point because it's just a lot easier for most people. I can literally go right now and add another couple $1 million to this trade. Not that much would happen except for the fact that I'd be sweating, but I could also just add it to the bot and I'd not be sweating. But again, it depends. If I think the price is going to go only up, this will make me way more profit, which is why I still got it open. But now I've got about the same. I've got, in this case here, about, I think, 350K or so in the bot and 350K worth of a normal long position. So I've balanced it out to have both, best of both worlds. One will make money while the price goes up and down. The other will just make more money in case the price actually goes crazy. The only problem is this has a way higher average price. And so even now at $2.43, I could actually still just buy in to make my average price lower. But even if I buy in right now, because my average price is $2.55, something like that, even right now, I'd not lower my average price much if I start buying. Yeah, I could have maybe bought yesterday at $2.33 or something like that. But remember, when we were streaming, I was joking about opening $1 million at $2.31. At this point, that would have been pretty cool, right? Because at this point, that could have been up roughly 6% or so. Which could have been a cool 60K in just 3 days or so on that trade. But again, I'm a little bit scared, so I didn't do nothing. But yeah, that's about it for this little crypto update. Some cool stuff going on. The altcoin season seems to be here. But let's see. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get trapped. Don't go too crazy and all of a sudden you get wrecked. That's what these bots are pretty nice. But again, not finished advice. Just my story, just my journey.